What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 10 of Comic Book Aficionados. I'm Mason AJ.
This is the GOAT.
Got IBM.
Today we're going to be talking about Image Comics, the revolutionary comic book company, which is actually third best in the comic book industry right now for America.
Number one in my opinion.
Yes.
There's a few books between Marvel and DC that I really look forward to, but Image really has the ones that have kept me engrossed. You've seen it in our past issues, like the
Jupiter's Legacy.
Saga. Yeah, the
Yeah.
one shot.
In my opinion, Image drops those books that if you're not really, into like, okay, I really need to keep up with this story arc or this and that, you can just pick up an Image comic
It's
and just
engrossing,
read it.
yeah. And it's not necessarily all capes and stuff.
Right. The one thing I like about it is it kind of, Image Comics is that one company which breaks up the, I want to say,
The monotony.
there's a monotony of it.
It's a breath of fresh air.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love X-Men. I love Justice League. I love all of it.
I
But
love
it
it.
always feels like they're going into like the same cycles.
Superman, Batman is just like everything gets set to zero.
Yeah,
I've
but-
said it before.
Yeah. But with Image Comics, it's just like these fresh character, fresh face. It always blows my mind with a whole new perspective on things. They
They're the radicalists.
yes.
Well, that was the whole idea. 1992. A group of the biggest artists and writers from comic book industry: Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld. The list goes on. Mark Silvestri. If you Google these names, you're gonna see some titles that you. Yeah, Mason did his one shot right here on the Witchblade in the Darkness.
Witchblade in the Darkness, which I still love.
And it's right there, and it's all there, right there for you to check out. These are legendary names in comics.
They wanted more recognition for their work.
They
Really,
wanted,
that's
and they wanted
what
to
it
make
came
their
down to.
own stuff, so they created Image Comics. They broke up, and they vowed never to work for DC and Marvel again. They wanted to work on their own original stuff.
And you know
Since
what?
then, they went back. But
They've done a few things.
And you know what? When Image Comics first came out, because these people were so big, Marvel stock dropped like 3 points or something like that.
Marvel and DC,
Well, they both
'cause-
dropped.
Whereas Marvel and DC have these iconic characters like Superman and Captain America and
Wonder
such,
Woman,
and
Shazam.
Wonder Woman, you really can't take these characters and put them in the real world. Don't get me wrong, their morals and everything, yeah, you would love to see that, but it's kind of like that's not how the world works. Whereas when Image does a cape, you look at it and look like, I believe that. Like I could see that.
it wasn't
happening.
just that, but they were doing this thing where they were creating their own icons. Everyone knows Spawn. Everyone knows the Witchblade. Everyone knows the Darkness. This gave them the freedom to create these characters, cultivate them, create their own universe.
Right. And even that, it became such a thing that people begin to refer as the Image style. Which, you're looking at books like Wildcats and Stormwatch, like that style is very distinctive to anything else on the market. You really
to the
can't.
rest of the comics.
You like I said. Oh, not to me. Like you said, with all other comic books, with the Justice Leagues and the Avengers, and even like the more lesser known ones like Runaways and everything like that, you can pretty much see it and be like, that's a Marvel book. Or you can see it like that, but with Image style, it's so distinctive. Yeah, you can recognize it as a Image book, but it's like, which book is it?
Again, by going into their own company, they were getting freedom to just go all out. Todd McFarlane's art when he took over Spider-Man was amazing. He brought it into the 90s. He grew the hair out. He changed the clothing. When he did Spawn, he took it a next level, and he got to draw what he really got to unleash that world. And I know you're reading Invincible right now. Robert Kirkman, who's known for his Walking Dead,
He's done a whole
universe.
Cape universe.
A universe.
It actually went off into its own issues of Invincible
Invincible
universe. Like where you see these capes, and it was realistic take on capes. We always go, oh yeah, Marvel Spider-Man deals with real problems, whereas everybody in Image kind of deals with real problems. They're very current on their language, and things like that. Like, Thor has very robust and
robotic.
Valiant talk. Like, he sounds like a god.
Yeah.
Captain America sounds like that inspirational guy.
Yeah.
But then you jump into like things like Invincible, and they'll talk to you like how we're talking here and now, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's
to see that
humanized.
in comic.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Go actually put me onto Stormwatch.
it's a personal favorite.
Yeah, it is actually it's my second personal favorite, right after Darkness and Witchblade, or Darkness in particular. But looking at Stormwatch,
Not a Witchblade thing.
but looking at Stormwatch, me and him often make the joke. It's almost like Law and Order, with
Superheroes, yeah.
like that, because it's very distinctive, it's very real. Each and every character in it has their own like distinct way of speaking like that. It's not generic.
Backstory, yeah.
Yeah, it's just good writing, and you're dealing with what was great is you're dealing with very, very familiar writers and artists, and you read these image books, and you're like, damn, I didn't even know that they could do this, or they're allowed to do this. Because again, when you go to DC and Marvel, it can be kind of restrictive, even if you're a purist.
And with Image Comics, when they branch out in something like completely different, like Jupiter's Legacy or Sagas.
Prime example,
Saga.
Jupiter's Legacy. There was a line where you saw the big mentalist of the group. He goes, I feel like this is how the world should be run. So what would have happened if I were to just go to the White House and show Obama how I felt mentally? And they had a whole conversation about that. And I was like, you see, that's real. That's current.
You never see these characters talk about why they limit themselves.
Yeah.
And that was something that you were allowed to see, and it was something that I feel like you'll only see in Image Comics. Now, don't get me wrong, each comic book company has moments that are really, really human. Recently, I saw Clark Kent and Wonder Woman go as Diana. They went on a date. That was a really nice panel. She's talking about why he wears the glasses and how good it felt to just blend in. And then I saw
and the idea behind
in one of the Marvel issues, maybe from last year or something, one of my favorite pages of all time was Luke Cage and Jessica Jones sitting down, having a lunch, talking about whether or not if their kid grew up to be a superhero or not, what would they do? Do they even want her to be a superhero?
Or what school she
was just as them as a couple. It was so human. You see that more and more in Image because they're allowed to be free-flowing and natural characters that might have powers or just might be in a superhuman situation.
Or extremely relatable.
Or even more human, especially going back to Stormwatch, which I really see as each and every member of the superhero team. They go out and fight things every day. They save the universe, save the world, stop the terrorists, but then they come back and they're always like, what if that didn't go the way it happened? I'm scared. And Iron Man 3, which just came out, not just came out. Tony Stark had a little bit of PTSD.
Did come out this month.
He had a little bit of PTSD. He had to question himself when it came to certain things, and that's like every character in Image. They don't just do stuff.
And these are adult books, which give it a little bit of an edge as far as being more human or being more violent. These are adult books. They don't follow the comic codes. No one has to be true justice.
Valiant. I have to say, this is really how I feel on Image. Whereas Marvel and DC were that, they're going to be the icons. I mean, the GOATs even mentioned it before. They're so old that they're lore now.
Yeah,
like you're going to see
American folklore now.
Yeah, like you're going to see them in a history book. For that time period, they were very current. They were current, and those are things you were really trying to push. Whereas, the times have changed, and the companies have evolved. Image is kind of that company that it's the here and now.
Yeah, it's the here and now.
That's how I feel like. And if I pick it up, I will hear this.
And it's also very much the
store.
Future. Image does this thing where you can actually go to Image with your comic book. You have a pitch. You have to have a beginning, middle, and end, and maybe some. I think you have to have some art on file.
They make a formula for you to produce your own comic.
They will produce your comic for you. They will give you your cut. And because that's what it's really all down to. They want you to have your copyrights. They don't want you to have any outside influence. They want you to make your art. They want you to make your add to this craft.
And that's actually in the Image Comics mission statement. That's in our company logo. They don't own your properties.
That's a beautiful thing that you actually rarely see.
It's just freedom.
That they want you to have. They want you to own what's yours.
Because it's almost like this is a artist guild that became an institution for you to express your art. Because that's why they are to make successful books. They're ultimately to tell stories and show you what they can do as artists.
And by art, we don't just mean actual art and drawing. We mean your writing, your creativity. You have to come with an original pitch. You can't just come in and be like, it's like Wolverine mixed with Daredevil. And they want original characters. They want real stories. They want something that you can build on. They want something you can franchise on. They want you to be able to take your own thing and make a whole universe of it. And that's fantastic.
I remember even going on the Image website, and when I read that they help you make a booth at conventions.
Yeah,
That's a big deal. Like, they drop down and they give you tips.
They keep it comic books. They want you to be a part of this world. They want this world to flourish. It's very much what we do here at Comic Book Aficionados. We want you guys to be interested in it.
Always got to support the craft.
And support the craft.
Well, like I said, this is episode 10 of Comic Book Aficionados. This is what we thought and what we love about Image Comics. Feel free to comment down below. Let us know your favorite Image comic book. Also feel free to go to image.com and, like the ghost said, submit your comic book. Develop your craft and also support our craft. Go to comicbooklocated.com and what was the other one?
Comicsology.
Comicsology, yeah.
Well, Marvel and DC got their own apps, but I love Comicsology.
Yeah, Marvel and DC, you can buy their comics through there. Buy these comics, support the craft, make sure the money goes in the right place. Keep commenting, subscribe. You're going to see links to our Twitter, our Facebook, and our YouTube page. You're already there, I guess. Hi.
And also, check out our other videos on, on Image Comics and other comic books in general.
Again, we have our past issues. Our past episodes. These are all, a good chunk of them are actually Image Comics that we're talking about. Just great new ideas, and you're going to see plenty more from us and from them, and we thank you guys for tuning in.
And also, coming up real soon will be the official Comic Book Aficionados t-shirts. This is kind of the vintage classic edition right now.
You got the red and white. And then you also got the blue and black. And, if you got any color suggestions, let us know. If we think it's dope, we'll throw it at you.
Again, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll get that information to you if you are interested. Thank you guys so much. This is The GOAT.
Mason AJ.
IBM.
Signing out for the Comic Book Aficionados.